Living alone, especially as you get older, is often seen as peaceful and freeing. You can do whatever you want, whenever you want, without anyone bothering you. While that's true in some ways, there's another side to it that people don't talk about much. You only understand it once you experience it. I've looked through many stories and advice from others, and I want to share what people commonly say about living alone. This isn't just my view, it's a mix of experiences from many people. It's not all bad, it's just the reality. Let's dive into the things no one tells you about living alone as you age and how to make the best of it. 1. You have to be your own emergency backup. When you live alone, especially as you get older, you realize there's no one around to help if something goes wrong. For example, some people have fallen and weren't found for hours or days because no one was checking on them. One person shared online that they started carrying their phone everywhere, even in the shower, just in case. While this might seem like too much, it's smart to think about your safety ahead of time. Consider using things like a smartwatch or a medical alert system, especially if you live far from others or don't have close neighbors. These precautions can give you peace of mind and help you feel secure living alone. For instance, someone mentioned putting an emergency key lockbox outside their home so trusted friends or family could get in if needed without breaking a window. Simple steps like these can make a big difference. 2. Loneliness can be a real struggle, even for introverts. Most people think living alone is a dream for introverts, and for the most part, it is. But even the most solitary people can face bouts of loneliness, especially when they're older. Many people on forums say that their social circles have shrunk over the years. Friends have moved away, retired, or passed on, and meeting new people can feel more challenging. One elderly gentleman shared in a forum how he'd go days without having a single conversation with anyone. He loved his independence, but missed the casual interactions of having someone around. A partner or a roommate to chat with about the little things, like the weather or what's for dinner. For others, the solution has been adopting a pet. Pets give you a sense of companionship, routine, and responsibility. As one woman said on a forum, "My cat might not talk, but he's always there when I come home, and that makes all the difference." 3. Keeping up with home maintenance can be overwhelming. One thing that gets more difficult with age, and that nobody really talks about, is keeping up with housework. As we get older, our energy levels change. Tasks like cleaning gutters, mowing the lawn, or even just vacuuming can feel more exhausting. I've read several stories of older people who let certain chores slide simply because they no longer had the stamina or desire to do them. One woman shared how she'd keep a list of home projects that needed to be done, but ended up putting most of them off. It wasn't that she didn't care about her home. It was just too overwhelming to tackle everything alone. If you're in this position, don't hesitate to get help. You might hire someone for the heavy lifting chores or ask family and friends to pitch in occasionally. And if your budget allows, consider downsizing. A smaller living space means less maintenance and fewer things to worry about, giving you more time to enjoy the things that matter. 4. Your daily routine becomes sacred, and that's okay. Living alone makes daily routines really important. Without a partner or roommate to share plans or chores, your routine becomes your anchor. Simple habits like having coffee on the porch, taking afternoon walks, or watching your favorite TV show can keep you steady and happy. For example, a woman in her 70s said she plays the same song every morning while making breakfast to bring energy to her quiet home. A man shared that watering his garden every evening gives him purpose and structure. It's not just about the plants. These small moments are what make living alone special. Don't feel bad about having a routine. These little rituals give you control over your life and make it uniquely yours. 5. Cooking for one can be tricky but rewarding. Cooking for yourself can be one of those unexpectedly tricky things. When you're older and living alone, you don't need to prepare big meals, and sometimes it feels like too much effort to make a full dish just for yourself. I've read countless stories of people defaulting to frozen meals or takeout because it's easier. But, as one woman commented on a forum, learning to love cooking for yourself can change your perspective entirely. It becomes less about the labor and more about the care you're putting into yourself. Try batch cooking on weekends or making meals that you can eat over a few days. Some have found joy in experimenting with new recipes, treating it as a hobby rather than a chore. You might find that preparing food for yourself becomes a little act of self-care, one of those things that remind you that you're worth the effort. Plus, it's a healthier and more budget-friendly option in the long run. 6. The quiet can be both a blessing and a curse. Silence is something people don't expect to hit them as hard as it does when they start living alone, especially if they're used to a bustling household or a full-time job. The house can feel too quiet, especially in the evenings. Some people thrive in that peace, but for others, it's unsettling. One older woman shared that she started leaving the radio on in the background while doing her chores just to fill the air with some noise. Another man said he listens to podcasts throughout the day to feel like someone is talking to him. Whether it's music, audiobooks, or the TV, finding ways to break the silence can make a huge difference. On the flip side, the quiet can be a real gift, especially if you've spent your whole life surrounded by people. It's a space to think, reflect, and recharge. 7. You need to be intentional about physical activity. Living alone, especially as you get older, can make it harder to stay active. Without someone around to encourage you to go for a walk or do activities together, it's easy to spend more time sitting. Many people have shared online how living alone affected their fitness. One man said he slowly stopped taking daily walks and ended up sitting most of the time. I didn't notice how much less active I'd become until my body started to feel stiff, he explained. When you're the only one motivating yourself, staying active takes more effort. A simple way to stay healthy is to add small bits of movement to your daily routine. You could set a step goal, do light stretches in the morning, or join a fitness class for older adults. Even small changes can make a big difference to your health. One woman I read about decided to get a dog purely for this reason. The dog needs to walk, so she gets moving too. Physical activity doesn't have to mean going to the gym. It can be gardening, dancing around your living room, or taking the stairs instead of the elevator. Keeping your body in motion not only helps you physically, but also lifts your mood and clears your mind. 8. Your sense of time may shift in unexpected ways. Another thing people don't often talk about is how living alone can change your relationship with time. Without the rhythms of another person in the house, you may lose track of the day, the week, or even the month. Several people online have mentioned that time either stretches out too long or slips away unnoticed. A man commented in a forum that after his retirement and the passing of his spouse, he had days where he wasn't sure what day it was or even what time. This happens because you no longer have external cues like a partner's work schedule or children's activities to structure your day. The good news is you have the power to create your own rhythm. Some people find that sticking to a loose schedule helps. For example, you could designate certain days for specific tasks, grocery shopping on Mondays, house cleaning on Thursdays, and so on. Others find it helpful to engage in hobbies that make them look forward to specific times of day or week, like attending a weekly class, gardening in the afternoons, or cooking special Sunday dinners. It's important to keep track of time, but also allow yourself to enjoy its flow. Living alone gives you the chance to structure your days around what works for you, and that's a gift. 9. Decluttering becomes both easier and harder when you live alone. The task of decluttering takes on a new significance. On one hand, there's no one around to argue over which items to keep or toss, which can make the process smoother. On the other hand, everything in your home becomes a reflection of your life. Every photo, every book, every piece of furniture holds memories, and letting go of them can feel more personal. I remember reading a comment from an older woman who had lived alone for years. She shared how she found herself keeping things because of their sentimental value, even though she knew she didn't need them. She said, "It's just me, so who does it hurt to hold on to these things? But then I think, do I really want to leave all this for someone else to sort through?" Many people in online communities emphasize the emotional difficulty of decluttering when you live alone. Objects take on a deeper meaning, and parting with them feels like closing chapters of your life. But there's also freedom in simplifying. A man in his late 60s shared how he decided to downsize his belongings to make life simpler for himself and his family. He said it gave him peace of mind, knowing that his home felt more manageable. Decluttering when you're older and alone isn't about minimalism for the sake of it. It's about making your space a reflection of who you are now, not who you were in the past. It's okay to keep the things that bring you joy, but letting go of what no longer serves you can be liberating. Start small, tackle one area at a time, and allow yourself to feel the emotions that come with it. After all, this is your space, and you have the power to shape it as you wish. 10. Social invitations might decrease, but you have to create your own fun. As you get older and live alone, you might notice that social invitations become less frequent. It's not that people don't care about you, but life happens. Friends and family get busy with work, kids, or they move away. You might find yourself less included in group activities. Some people online have shared how they feel left out of gatherings. One woman said, "I used to wait for my phone to ring, but now I've learned to be proactive." That's great advice. Instead of waiting for others, take the lead and create your own social life. It can be as simple as inviting a friend for coffee, starting a book club, or hosting a movie night at home. The bonus? When you organize the fun, you can shape it around what you love. For example, one man in his 60s started a Sunday walking group to explore local trails. It kept him active, connected, and happy doing something he enjoyed. Living alone gives you the freedom to design your own social life. If you enjoy crafts, invite friends over for a DIY night. Love a TV show, plan a weekly watch party. Take the first step. When you reach out, others will often join in. 11th. It's easy to neglect self-care, but it's more important than ever. When you live alone, there's no one to notice when you've been wearing the same clothes for 3 days, or when you haven't bothered to cook a proper meal. It becomes easy to fall into a routine of not taking care of yourself. Many people on forums admit that living alone sometimes leads to a sense of, "Who am I doing this for?" But here's the thing. You're doing it for you. One man shared how, after years of living alone, he realized he was letting small things slide, skipping meals, not showering regularly, and spending too much time on the couch. He said, "I had to remind myself that I deserve the same care and attention I would give to someone else." Self-care isn't just about grooming or eating well, it's about your mental health too. Whether it's keeping up with medical appointments, getting enough sleep, or simply doing things that make you feel good, self-care is crucial when you're on your own. One woman shared her routine of lighting candles in the evening, putting on a face mask, and reading a book. It's a small ritual, but it's something she does just for herself to feel nurtured. Make self-care a priority, even when there's no one around to notice. Get dressed in the morning, even if you're not going anywhere. Cook meals that you enjoy and pamper yourself in whatever ways make you feel uplifted. After all, you're living alone, but you still deserve the best care, and only you can give it to yourself. Living alone as you get older can be tough, but it can also be very rewarding. You have the freedom to live life your way, and that's something special. It's okay to ask for help, plan ahead, and rely on others when you need to. You've come so far, and there's still plenty to enjoy ahead. Surround yourself with things that make you happy, like a pet, a garden, or your favorite book. On tough days, remember you're not alone. There are many others like you finding their own path too. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe so you don't miss our future videos. Thanks for watching.